Guys, if you have any questions for Priscilla, by the way, this is part two of the IG Live Fashion Chat with Her World
Wow, part
Singapore
two.
and Priscilla
I didn't think there was gonna be
Shunmugam.
a part two.
I don't know how long is this gonna be. Oh my God, we keep on talking and talking. We're still talking about food lah, that's why.
I
We're
know.
talking about food. Yes, 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 yes. So, okay, what else? What else? So you have Om coming up.
We have all food,
Uh, you are you're restocking your
tableware.
tableware, and then so your store in London, is it put on hold
Yeah,
or
it's
are
pretty much
you?
put on hold.
Hmm.
We vacated the space already. Everything is in storage, so
Yeah.
it's pretty much on hold for now.
Mm.
And
But
yeah,
are you still have that store space or
no, no,
no?
we moved out. Yeah, we
Right,
moved out already.
right.
And we're not going to move back in, like I said,
Yeah.
until I
You
feel that
right. I got
London
you.
has control over the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because I think the one thing we learned
Mm.
from what we went through in March was that when you're when you are in a city where the government doesn't have control of the situation, you
Yeah.
are exposing yourself and your staff
Mm. Yeah.
unnecessarily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Too
And
much
I
at
think like
risk. Yeah.
I just don't think that that's worth it. Like I
Yeah.
don't think like any kind of um expansion is
Mm.
worth that kind of risk.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, I mean, we know that we will come out of this. It's just a
Uh-huh.
matter of when,
Right.
right? So I think we just want to wait, kind of be patient and wait for that to happen.
Mm. And like look around and see like what's next you can do from London.
Yeah, I mean, we are shooting our campaign for
Mm.
OM in London. We're
Right.
shooting it
Nice.
this week.
Right.
If all goes well, I mean, it depends on the weather, but if it goes well,
Mm.
we'll shoot it this week.
Right.
So, look, there is a team here in London with me as well.
Mm.
So we will keep going. We are always, we keep a ear to the ground and we're listening and we're always like brainstorming what we can do next. You know, what is changing on the ground? What has the government announced? We're always kind of talking back and forth about it.
Mm.
So I think like we'll pay attention over the next few months. Once we see that, okay, reopening doesn't cause a spike in cases, or even if there's a spike in cases, that the NHS or the government here is able to contain and control,
Mm.
then that will kind of give us a good sign that okay,
Right.
maybe it's time to consider reopening the store again. Because
Right.
even say social events like, and you know how fashion is so
Yeah.
closely tied to physical and social
Yeah.
interaction. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Mm.
whether it's a fashion show or a lunch or a launch or a
Yeah.
presentation,
Yeah.
you have to like having people together and interacting is so important. It's so
Yeah.
integral. So if you can't operate that way.
Yeah, but it has always been like the way you run your brand anyway, like that small gathering and that interaction.
Exactly.
That's how you approach your brand has always been. I
Exactly.
mean, even like the decision of having like a tableware as one of your expansion notes to, how much you appreciate that whole dining experience because it brings people together and, I mean, you could have done something else, not tableware, but
Yes.
you chose that, and I think there's some sort of like a connection in there as well. I we have a question now from Akila 777. What advice do you have for fresh graduates?
Wow.
Loaded question.
um well, wow. I mean, it was such a long time that I graduated. Ooh. Okay, let me think. I think graduating, I hope, I don't know when you have graduated. If you have just graduated right now, this year, 2020, possibly one of the worst years ever to graduate. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It will shape you for the better. It will
Yeah.
make you rethink everything that you've learned. It will make you discard all the assumptions that you clung to. And I always think that that is one of the best ways to operate as a
Mm,
human being. You know, it's to always remind yourself that everything that you learn, it can be unlearned.
mm,
And everything that you never considered is always worth turning in a different direction. um, I think you have to be realistic if you are a fresh graduate. You have to be very aware of the job market that you are planning to enter. If it doesn't kind of, you can't quite get the job that you want or the kind of pay that you want, you have to be willing to accept what's second best or third best, because you have to remember that it will not stay like this forever. And it is
mm.
much better to do something than to do nothing. And
Yeah.
it's always think, I always tell even my staff that were with me before and who have left, I always say, any job that you have, it's always going to count for something. You will never think of it as a waste of time. Like
I
when I think
totally
back in
agree.
my late teens, when I got my first part-time job, and in my early 20s when I was working part-time when I was still in university, um, I all those little jobs that I had, they've all taught me things that still apply today. Like my very first job was working, don't laugh, was working in a Swarovski shop as a sales retail associate. So obviously I had to learn everything about
Yeah.
selling crystals.
Of course.
And but here's the thing, my boss was really strict and very detail oriented. And because of that, she just taught me how every time walks in, you get someone that walks into the store, you pay attention to everything, to what
Mm,
they're wearing, what bag they're carrying, the tone of their voice,
mm.
what they're looking for. You pay attention to everything, and you make notes, and just things about customer service or
Yeah.
talking to a customer or knowing when to leave her alone. Those are things that I learned
Yeah.
when, how old I was at? What, 17 years old?
Right, right, right. It
So
prep you for the retail business that you are where you are now. Obviously, you would have said the same thing to like your employee, you know?
absolutely, yeah. So I think, look, um, don't write, if you're a fresh graduate, don't write 2020 off as a waste of time, because the only person that can make something a waste of time is yourself.
Mm,
If you say that this is a waste of time, then it's a waste of time. But
mm.
if you it's your perspective. If you
Yeah.
decide, okay, well, I'm not going to maybe get the job or the salary that I thought I was going to get, but I'm going to use this 9 months or 12 months to maybe try something different, maybe study something additional, and it doesn't have to be like a fixed 1 year master's degree. Maybe it could be a succession of short courses,
Mm,
maybe especially things that you can do online, that don't require physical participation.
mm.
You and maybe it could even be just looking inward and
Yeah.
asking yourself, what are things that I've always wanted to do and never really been able to, and do it. I mean, in my case, like, this lockdown has just basically forced me to learn how to cook. And I'm really proud of saying that. you know, Before this, like, you would never find me in the kitchen. I
Yeah.
hated it. I loathed it. I was completely useless. And, and now I'm basically cooking all my meals, every
Right.
day. Yeah, I just kind of forced myself to learn, and obviously,
Yeah.
like, burnt my fried chicken, burnt it
Yeah.
black, it was completely black. And then now I'm
Like you're
pretty
better at it now.
good.
The other day, because for a long while, because my wife stays at home, so she cooks most of the time, and
You
we
are
normally
lucky.
do. I know, I'm very lucky, and normally she does a lot of like interesting dishes or whatever. But you know, whenever you want something a little bit more heavier in terms of the Asian food, you always go out last time, right? Like, because the
Yeah,
hawker center would have like a really nice food or a
yeah.
certain restaurants or whatever. So the other day we tried making fish head curry.
Oh,
It was
Oh,
so good. It was so good. Yeah.
really?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
No, that's the
with
thing
the
also,
okra
right?
and everything. Yeah. So,
That's
but
the
the thing is that,
thing.
yeah, the thing is, if we, I mean, to see it from a different light, if we were not stay at home, or the hawker center is not close or something, then we wouldn't be forced making the fish head curry at
Absolutely.
home. You know what I mean? So that's what I say. But anyway, yeah, like picking us as I'm thinking of like doing some online courses actually. Not that I have time because
Yeah.
by working from home, actually, there's like I do a lot more stuff because by the time you
Mhm.
come out from the room, the desktop is there already. So then
Yeah.
I feel compelled to like check my email or like do more
Yes.
meetings. I'll be working until the wee hours. But yeah, I'm like I was reading up like some LaSalle online courses, and I'm like, should I do it? I'm like, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Do
But
it,
yeah,
baby.
there's a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of
Do
things
it,
that
honestly.
yeah, and
I think,
then
yeah,
and
I really believe that the only person that can determine that something is a waste of time is yourself.
I agree. Totally agree. Yeah. I mean, I always see like, try to find the positivity in everything anyway. So,
Sure. Sure.
and but hang on, your husband is also working from home.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always worked from home.
Yeah.
So I think the both of us, we just kind of transitioned into this lockdown period quite easily, a lot easier than
Yeah.
maybe a lot of other people, or perhaps
Yeah.
couples that are
Yeah.
now kind of marooned together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I
Which
think
is, and then hang on, before you get into that, which is so interesting because our June issue
yeah,
just came out, and it is, the topic was sustainability, which I think is quite close to you because I think to London with Love is actually you use
yes,
recycled fabrics, right?
absolutely, no new
Yeah.
fabric.
But in the June issue, one of our writers, in fact, our features editor, came up with this story about how she and her husband are now have to work from home together. But the
Yes,
thing is, the twist is,
yeah.
she's more of a introvert, while the husband is more like of an extrovert. So I can't wait to read
Okay,
that in the
good luck
magazine.
to them.
And both of them are actually like writing. They're both writers, so they're writing that piece together. So I'm gonna read
Amazing.
that like in the June issue. But other than that, yeah, the sustainability issue just came out. You can read it online or buy it
Yeah.
from 7-Eleven near you. Oh, actually, you can download a
Can
free
I?
magazine because I think for now for like about 3 months since 2 months ago we opened up the free subscription for during this COVID time because we understand that everybody's at home and they would like to read content and everything.
That's
That
okay.
was
That's one of
a
the
space
nice
initiative.
things. That's one of the
Yeah,
nice things that
yeah,
has happened during COVID. Is just
mm,
how media organizations have just opened up their content
yeah,
to everyone. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's like, like some of the efforts. I mean, with her world, we do this IG live. So obviously, we're talking to you right now. I think in the previous sessions, we've talked to a couple of other business owners in Singapore, mainly in fashion, and
Sure.
they are like, I asked them questions about their change of leadership and how they're coping with it and how are they changing tact in terms of the business and all that kind of stuff. So I
Hmm.
think though the topic's pretty much the same, but the experience is completely different.
Really?
For some, yeah, yeah, very, very different. I mean,
Okay.
in your case in particular, I mean, like, you live in London right now. Obviously, your
Yeah.
experience is completely different over there,
Yeah.
and I always believe that this whole situation now, yes, everybody's experiencing it, but the what matters is also the way the government is managing the situation and culturally how we are as a nation responding to it. it will be different if the way Singapore government is managing the situation, and just kind of like, you do it in UK, and it would have a different impact, so I think. But I say that, of course, because I'm lucky to be in Singapore. And I'd like to say that I think Singapore government is one of the best who, in managing the situation,
Without a doubt.
Um, yeah, so having said that, obviously, yeah, your experience would have been different, because the three women that I spoke with before, they are still in Singapore.
Yes.
I think two of them are actually come from overseas, but they've been calling Singapore home for like years and years and years.
Okay.
And then yeah, and then so like yeah, they're all different. And now we're at the stage where, as you know, today is the time where like the officially the circuit breaker is easing down,
Yes.
but there's still some sort of like it's still going to be the same. On our part, we're not going back to the office.
Yes.
Some people are maybe, but
But most consumer businesses are not allowed to
no,
open right
no,
now.
not yet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but exactly the same sentiment that you have, because then everybody was like, but what's like, how can I go in? Who am I risking? And like you don't know. In fact, actually, for the past how long has it been? I think like 2.5 months, whatever, that we've been on circuit breaker. I haven't really been going out, and the only time that I took a bus, I kid you not, I took a bus
Hmm.
to go out.
Yeah.
It was to Tiong Bahru Plaza, and like that was the after a long while that I was like, oh my God, it's really changing.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I go to the market like once every two days or something. We have a wet market here, and
Yeah.
my area there's a lot of like old people, which also makes me question. Is like, is it safe for them to go out? Like, how can I help them? So I think to a certain degree, we try to help some of our older neighbor, like to buy like help them buy some food or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I know that like even when the government allows things to go back to the new normal, um, I we long for it. Maybe some people that I'm okay actually. I personally, yeah, I'm fine. But like we might want to be like normal, but it would never be going back to normal. Even if it's like, yeah, you can go to shop again, it will be different experience, if you know what I mean. It would
Absolutely.
yeah, it would like we've moved on from that. We shouldn't
Absolutely.
look back, but like, okay, how can we make the new normal more better, or more
Absolutely.
bearable or whatever,
And
if you know what I
I
mean?
think
So
like if you, in terms of fashion, especially if you
mm,
look at, say, Paris and Milan,
yeah,
the
yeah,
larger complex, France and Italy, who have already reopened stores, they're
yeah,
already reporting that the stores are empty.
yeah,
People are not
completely.
going back.
So, well, that's the thing. When you were telling the story about like you were traveling back to Singapore, I managed to leave Milan
Yeah.
when there was only three reported cases. But the
You're
small
lucky.
town, yeah, but the small town outside of Venice was already closed.
Right.
Yeah, when I check so that was the time when Giorgio Armani canceled the
And so,
show.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, and we had like a couple of events that was also canceled that day. The following day, I left. In the morning, it was three cases already reported, but I had to buy like a new luggage. So I went to a store in Milan, and then everybody started wearing masks, especially the Asian
Exactly.
employee. Yeah, because they say
Yeah.
it's not a must, but our company thought that it would be better if we do, because of the safety and da 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 da. Da. Back then, when I left for Milan Fashion Week, that was
Mhm.
a trip. My wife already like gave me a mask and a hand
Yeah.
sanitizer and da da da. But of course,
Yeah.
because everybody's not really wearing it, so I was like, I would wear it
Yeah.
if like nobody really see. But like secretly, I would be like cleaning up my hand or whatever, whatever. But when I left, it was three. By the time I reached back to Singapore, it was 250. The
Wow.
following day, it was like 400.
That's
And
the other
it kept
thing.
on, yeah. So it was like
No,
I
that's
just
the other
miss
thing.
it by
What
that
you're
much.
talking about is also what I think hasn't been talked about enough,
Mm,
but that I honestly believe that Fashion Week was
mm,
highly responsible in spreading COVID.
mm.
Because
Yeah,
if you look at the timing, right?
yeah,
The timing of fall winter fashion weeks.
yeah, yeah. That was
It
like end February, early March for in Paris. Yeah,
Yeah, and you
yeah,
can really see and you can imagine how if the first case in America was reported as early as January,
yeah,
and you can see how bad New York has been affected. That
yeah,
just tells you that if Fashion Week started in New York and then
yeah,
went on to London
yeah,
and then went on
yeah.
to
Touch wood, touch wood.
you
Yeah,
have a bit of not, we
yeah,
were talking about fashion shows with
yeah,
so many people in so
yeah,
many settings over multiple exposures. And you know,
yeah.
Fashion Week is not just about the shows. There's so many dinners,
Meetings.
lunches,
Yeah, yeah,
meetings,
yeah.
parties,
Mm,
you know. And like you were pointing out, it was really only the Asians who were kind of wearing masks and
yeah,
being a little bit
yeah,
more
yeah,
cautious.
yeah,
But a lot of
yeah,
people were still not quite getting,
yeah,
the full
yeah.
impact of it. So I really do think that I hope that when the time is right, maybe now it's still a bit sensitive, but when the time is right, that
Mm,
they will really study how they can make social events like Fashion Week
mm,
a lot more responsible. The
yeah,
next time something like this comes up,
yeah,
it's because just
yeah,
the way the calendar rotates and how you're taking the same, pretty much the same bunch of people and
yeah,
just moving them from city to city to
yeah,
city. These are
yeah.
all very densely populated cities.
Mm,
I
yeah,
think like fashion has to be a lot more responsible.
yeah. No, I think there's a lot of like talks about it, and like it's about time to change, and um trying to reinvent the wheels on this archaic system of Fashion Week
And
and
they
all of
keep
that kind of
talking
stuff.
about this for years and years and
I
years.
know
Well,
exactly, but
hopefully
yeah,
this will
it
be
moves. Yeah,
the deal
it moves
breaker.
to like a better. Yeah, it moves to like a better situation, a solution. I think the like my take on it is just that like it's not. It needs to be a conscious effort on everybody's part. Like it's not like a one person's job, or so but by the end of the day, it is, we are in a creative business. When there's a problem, I think there always be a way to find a solution, because
Yes.
that's technically what designing is. There's
Yes.
a problem, you find a solution. There's a problem, that's my take on it, and that's why this whole talk with designers, business owners, of course, because it's her world, so I would actually prefer it to be like a women business owner or a women leader or whatever. It's about finding creative solution in times of pandemic, because d- different people, different sizes of businesses or whatever that is, it has different sides of problem.
Yes.
Some people may have just like a problem of like, I don't know how to get my chicken rice. Some people like yourself whose setup is a little bit bigger. I think it's really interesting to hear the story about your predicament, not predicament, but like your situation in London with the store. But and exactly what our editor Ellen was asking. Like, what are you grateful for? And then you say that everybody is safe, that you can make sure that all of your team members are at their home and safe. That would be like a sense of achievement in itself, right?
Yes.
So yeah. So yeah, I think this will be we need another part three soon, hopefully. We'll check in with each other and see like what's happening. Well, of course, a lot
Yes,
of
please.
yeah, a lot of the audience, they also want to know like, okay, like if you have something new, or all that kind of stuff. But so to those who really are interested in purchasing or getting the tableware from Shunmugam, on Shunmugam. So please go to the website. Soon we will be receiving the new batch, huh?
Yes. Yeah, we should be getting the new shipment. I think by mid-June it should arrive in
Okay.
Singapore.
Right.
So that that's not too long away. And
Yeah.
of course, around the same time, we will probably be launching Om.
Yes.
And we will. I mean, we know everyone is very excited and eager
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
impatient.
Yeah.
And all I want to say is don't worry, guys. Like we've obviously been thinking about how to do
Mm.
this without having the usual physical interaction. I mean, this is like the first time I'm launching a collection when I'm not even in Singapore. I've never done this
Right.
before.
But
So
did they send you like the prototype, the toile or
um,
anything? No.
yes. Well, thankfully, the two times that I went back to Singapore in
Oh, you
February,
to check the
yeah,
toile and
I
the
basically
prototype.
went
Yeah.
back to fit all the prototypes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we have been FedExing stuff back and forth
I'm sure.
all over the place. But I think like yeah, we will obviously make use of Instagram. You know,
Yeah.
obviously it's just a natural home for
Yeah.
fashion. So we use Instagram and we'll make sure that I try and be as actively involved as possible with the
Mm.
launch of the collection. Customers can come and talk to me online on Instagram and ask me questions, and I will do an IG live of whatever I need to do so
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
understand about the collection or the
Yeah.
designs, how to wear it, how to style it, what size to buy. If they look online and like, oh, I'm between an 8 and a 10, which size do I get? I mean,
Mm.
I'll try my best to help.
Address. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think as well as my retail staff, like we'll all find ways to just to step up to the moment and
Mm.
and try and help everyone, and that's the best we can do, I think,
Yeah.
really.
Maybe that's the next one that we need to talk about in a part three chat with Priscilla Shunmugam about how you change with the whole retail situation, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
we
think
can chat
like
about
that
that.
that is the other topic which is so crucial right now. Because
Exactly.
obviously we know retail, whether in Singapore, London, New York, has been on a slow decline. And
Yeah.
if you look at New York with the bankruptcies of
Mm.
J. Crew
Yeah. Yeah.
and company,
Yeah.
only a matter of time before that starts happening all around the world.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of 2020, we will see more retail brands closing down
Mm.
or declaring bankruptcy. And I think for a lot of younger retailers, it will be great if they start rethinking things
Mm.
and getting a bit smart.
Yeah. That will be on our part three, guys.
Part three, yes,
Part
yes.
three. Part three. But then we'll be like a veteran in like how to do IG live already.
I know, imagine my first time. Wow. Okay, 1.5
No, you're
hours.
good. You're good. I know. We're good. We're good. We're good. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank
No,
you.
my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Wendy.
Thank you. Enjoy your summer in London. Hopefully, everybody stays safe and healthy.
Sweating every day. Oh God. Oh, I need some chendol.
And hopefully, you can cook whatever that you love, you miss from Singapore. You can cook it at home in London.
I'm trying my best. I sometimes think, should I like post pictures of what I've made? Do people
Do
like?
it.
I don't know.
No, no, but no, just do it. Just do it.
Okay,
Thank you
Wendy,
so
you
very
take
much.
care.
Thank you. Bye, Chris. Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Stay safe.